I suppose you're wondering what in the world we're doing. Um, well, I don't know, actually, but the goal here is to get this gross red primer off and see what is left of this, I don't know what you call this, kind of a metallic-y, turquoisey, bluish green type color. Not original paint, was repainted, but I think it looks a lot better than gross, splotchy primer garbage. So just did a little experiment here on this old fender, and it looks like, unfortunately, the only way to safely get this off is just a whole bunch of gun wash, a whole bunch of scrubbing, and then maybe when we're done, we'll just give it a light sand with 3000 just to knock any scuzz off or anything like that. I know you're not supposed to sand metallics, but I think this isn't getting polished up. It's past that, but if I can get it all looking like this, then I will be very happy. I'm just hoping. My concern is that it's going to, somebody's just randomly taken a grinder to this in places all throughout the truck, so I'm hoping most of it doesn't look like that. I've already had this thing at the car wash I spent about 25 bucks at the car wash the other day with the high pressure washer. Got a lot of it off, but there's still a lot stuck on there and it ain't going nowhere. So now I know we're gonna get some critics here that are gonna say, you lazy bugger, you gotta paint the whole truck and do all this and that. And well, you know what, I'm on a bit of a budget here, you see, and my plan is just to make this thing structurally sound. So we're going to fix up all the rust on the cab. I got all new panels for here, there. Basically the whole bottom of the cab is getting replaced, all new floors and cab corners, cab mounts, all that fun stuff. Got good fenders for it, all solid front sheet metal for it. Then we'll just get some touch-up paint, and that's the theory anyways, is to get some color matched paint the fenders and our repairs on the cab and blend them into this original paint, or not original but old paint job. And then we're going to be selling this. And so if you want to whine about me not painting it, well, after I'm done spending a couple hundred hours welding up a truck that literally no one else wanted, then you can buy it and you can spend several hundreds of hours painstakingly bodyworking it and prepping it and priming it and blocking it and painting it, and tens of thousands of dollars, and you can have a real show truck on your hands. Go for it. But for me, I just want it to look all kind of one color again, and I'd really like to get some trim for it. Probably have to repaint the white in here, but I think it'd look pretty sharp with trim, and all just kind of a dull, sort of this kind of nice greeny, bluey, turquoisey color. I think that's pretty cool color. So that's what we're doing here. Let's commence to doing things. So to start out, I just sanded over the areas of thicker primer with some 400 grit, and then we switched over to a paper towel soaked in lacquer thinner to kind of soften it up and wipe it away. Now, of course, this was working, but it was quite painful and tedious, so I started brainstorming, using my brain, of course, of how I was going to make this a little bit slower so I could really drag it out. And you're about to see what we decided. So, oh, okay, here we go now. So we decided to incorporate a toothbrush into the operation. Now, of course, I didn't want to go to the store and spend my hard-earned money on a new toothbrush for this kind of thing. So, fortunately or unfortunately, we just had to use my own personal toothbrush for this, which I'm personally okay with. As far as I'm concerned, Crest and Colgate and dentists are all just, they're all out to get us. And I think oral hygiene is one of the greatest scams of the century, really. So, carrying on with the theme of sticking it to big dentistry. Next week, we're going to show you how you can remove all your teeth at home using a pair of left-handed tin snips and a positive attitude. And the week after that, we're going to show you how you can whittle yourself out a brand new set of false teeth using reclaimed cottage cheese. Boy, you're not going to want to miss that one, I tell you. Now, for those of you who were born without a sense of humor, I should just add in here that we're only joking around. We here at Carter Auto Restyling take oral hygiene very seriously. That's why I soaked my toothbrush in lacquer thinner when I was all done and got it all cleaned right up. And boy, it works just fine as a toothbrush again. I'm pleased to report. And side note there, turns out lacquer thinner is a excellent home remedy for curing gingivitis. So there's one you can take to the bank. And now a trip to the auto parts store, where F-15 fighter pilot Dr. Winslow Longbottom is attempting to buy a spark plug for his Reliant Robin.
Hello, I would like to buy one autobody, please.
This till is closed.
Hello, I would like to buy one autobody, please.
This has been a trip to the auto parts store with Dr. Winslow Longbottom. We now return to your regularly scheduled programming. with box side. Over here we got a little bit of an issue. We look down it. Just really hard to see on camera, but this whole side is in like this. So we got to bring that back into shape a little bit. I'm not trying to repair it, just trying to make it less obnoxious than what it is. This is just a nightmare to film stuff in this garbage dump of a place. I don't know. Anyways, you can see, if we look down here, can you see it's all kind of bulged out here. It's all kinked in here, and this is all just shoved in like you wouldn't believe. So we gotta fix that up a little bit, make it a little better. Like I said, we're not trying to make it good. We're just trying to make it, wow, just look less like it's been through a demolition derby. You know how it is. Hey, believe it or not, I think we're a little more kind of on the correct plane here. It's not great. This isn't exactly ideal here. We got rust here and rust here. I don't know if I'm going to be fixing that or not yet. There's a lot of rust to fix on this truck. But we got this out and reshaped a little better. Unfortunately, there is a crease here, but then I feel on the inside, and I look closer to this, and we can see that there's actually amateur bodywork all through here. The crease itself is a lot more pronounced from the inside. I can feel it. So that means that there's filler all through here, which explains all the sand scratches going through here. Man, people wreck stuff. So I don't know what we're doing with that yet, but that's great. Just, I don't know. I hate people. I hate people. I do not like people. Let's just keep peeling off this gross red oxide here. I don't know. Let's check in at the auto parts store and see how Dr. Longbottom is getting along.
Hello. I would like to buy 2 auto parts, please.
This has been another successful trip to the auto parts store with Dr. Winslow Longbottom. Tune in next week for how I decluttered my life with a lobotomy. Well, I was wrong. Bit of a public service announcement here. I was recently informed by one of our viewers here that I've been cold starting these old Chevy 6-cylinders all wrong. You know, I've been driving trucks with 6-cylinders and 1-barrel Rochesters, I think about since I got my driver's license, and I thought I had it figured out, but nope. So as it turns out, the proper way to start these up is to just start pumping on the gas like you wouldn't believe while you're cranking it. Just pump, 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 because they need gas. They won't start at idle. This is what I've been told. You just gotta give it all the gas while you're cranking on it. You never have too much gas, these things. So that is the proper way to start them, as I've just discovered. So the wrong way to start these is to actually use this convenient feature, which is called a choke. I don't know if you can see that. And you know, the viewer said, like they said, these aren't going to start if you just crank on them while they're at idle, which I guess is correct. But the interesting thing about these chokes is, you know, as you engage the choke, it's on a cam here, which is connected to your throttle, and as the choke is engaged, I don't know if you can see that, but it actually opens the throttle blades as well. So you're richening your mixture and increasing your idle speed by using the choke. So if you can see here again, you can watch this move as I pull this and engage it. So that's how I've always done it. If it's a particularly cold day, which it is not today, but if we're trying to start one of these in the cold, what I've done in the past is I just choke it, give it a couple pumps, depending on the vehicle. Everyone kind of has their own personality, and then again hit the key and it fires right up. But again, that's wrong, so don't do it that way. I guess the other thing too is if it's been sitting for months, then all the gas in here is gone, so randomly pumping it won't do anything at all. So then I'll either prime it through this tube here, or just hit the key, depending on if it's 12 volt or 6 volt. If it's 12 volt, I just hit the key and just wait until there's fuel in the carburetor. Once there's fuel, then I can choke it, pump it, and then it'll start. So again, wrong way, don't do it that way. Now, what confused me at first was, you know, if you don't follow this sequence and it doesn't start right away on the first or second attempt, then, well, it floods. These things flood quite easily. I know that because I've done it many times. And so at that point, then you've got to hold your foot right to the floor, which allows extra air into the engine thing, which then helps the excess gas to evaporate, and then it will start. You got 12 volts, it's a little more forgiving, but find with the 6 volt ones, if you don't get it on the first or second try, then they flood. Now I'm just going to demonstrate the wrong way to start one of these up, just so we can all see. I find it's more helpful to see how to do things the wrong way than it is to do them right. So hopefully you can all learn from me, and we can all grow, and that kind of stuff. So what's going to happen here, again, this is the wrong way, just want to clarify that. So we're going to put our key in, obviously, neutral, that. Some of these on that cam I showed you, they have little teeth or notches in them. So I find it's easier to pull a choke out if I'm not pumping the gas, but I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just going to lightly rest my foot on the gas, which opens it up just enough to take the pressure off those teeth, and I can pull the choke out. And So that's like that. Again, this is the wrong way. Making sure you all know that. And then no touching the gas. Push the choke in just a little bit. Don't start to squeeze out. As the engine warms up, continue pushing the choke in until it's all the way in, and then you're good to go. Again, this is wrong, so don't do it this way. Just want to demonstrate the wrong way again on a truck with 6 volts. This has been sitting for about a week, so it's going to be a little more stubborn probably. Choke's already out. There we go. We got our starter button on the floor there. We're going to push the clutch in and make sure we're in neutral here. Turn the ignition on, and then we'll hit the starter button and we'll see what happens. Oh, there we go. Choke in right away, part ways. Pushing in until it starts to smooth out. Gotta warm up. And that's all there is to it. No need to jam on the gas a whole pile. So there you have it. That's the wrong way to do it, folks. Don't start your vehicle this way. Just pump the gas. Pump it, pump it, pump it. It needs fuel. I think we better consult the owner's manual here. So here's the manual for a 1952 Chevy truck, and we have our procedure on starting the engine. Let's see what it has to say. Place ignition key and switch in turn key to vertical position to turn on ignition. Pull choke knob out, part or all the way depending on climatic conditions to provide an engine speed just above idle. If the engine is warm or in summer weather, it is not generally necessary to use the choke at all. In extremely cold weather, the choke should be pulled all the way out. Make sure the transmission shift lever is in neutral. Depress the clutch pedal to relieve the load on the transmission. Step on the starter pedal, and that doesn't apply to us. Remove foot from starter pedal. If engine does not start in 15 seconds, release pedal or button and check to see that the above operations have been performed correctly. As soon as the engine starts, push choke knob in partway and adjust throttle for smooth idle. Now here's the procedure for starting in extremely cold weather. Now they had a whole checklist of things you have to go through to make sure your vehicle's in good operating condition. And then, as they say, the engine should start promptly, even in extremely cold weather, by following this simple procedure. Turn on ignition, pull choke knob all the way out. Depress foot accelerator slowly a few times. That means pump the gas. Disengage the clutch. Step on starter pedal or push button on forward control. It doesn't apply to us. Release starter as soon as engine starts and push choke knob in slightly. Regular choke to provide a fast idle and gradually push choke knob in as engine warms up. That's that cam that we were talking about that's helping to open up the idle speed for us as we're pulling the choke. In abnormally cold weather, the engine should be run slightly above idling speed for a few minutes to warm up the oil before driving the truck. These trucks also used to have a hand throttle so that you could do that type of thing. But anyways, there it is, right from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Well, there you have it, folks. I was wrong. Now, that should be no surprise. I mean, just so you know, I've been wrong once before, so it happens. Or it's happened, at least. But what the real shocker here was the fact that General Motors themselves was wrong. And not just in 1952, but I checked, and you know, they were printing disinformation in their manuals for decades. Like this truck, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, even back in the 30s. It's unbelievable that they would do something like that, and you know, but anyways, quite the scandal. But I just got to thank that one YouTube commentator for just breaking the whole thing wide open and finally shedding some light on the situation. for us all. So it's all very helpful, and I hope you learned a lot from this. Sorry for the long-winded thing, but I think this is something that's just so important that we really have to, cross our T's and dot our I's, so to speak. Anyway, before we look at the final product here, I thought we'd just take a look at the before for context. This is what we started out with. Not a whole lot. Seems appropriate. Well, this has been a disappointingly colossal waste of time and resources. It really doesn't look any better than it did before. Plus side, it doesn't look any worse, but I really think you'd be hard pressed to make this truck look any worse than it does. Now, I'm not too sure what we're doing, but keep in mind that the front fenders and grill panel are getting changed, so I didn't bother stripping any of the primer off of those. So just envision those with some sort of paint that kind of matches what's on the rest of the truck. The other areas where there's still red primer on are areas where somebody's glorped on filler. Just so, I mean, there's no point in exposing the bare filler. I don't think that's gonna enhance anything. And so yeah, this is just great. Also, the tailgate is off a different truck, so it's not, I didn't take anything off of that because it'd be kind of stupid to do that. Here we take a ferocious look at this thing. It looks like red green was took a grinder to the side of this thing. It's pretty harsh, and there's random areas where people just randomly sanded it and just peeling mottled old metallic paint job on top of metallic paint job. It's just it's really a museum of just bad paint jobs and bad bodywork, and just a wonderful thing to behold. Bottom of the hood is also getting replaced, so I didn't take any of the red off of that either. It's obviously rusted out, as you can see. And another thing is I should mention is feel free to leave a comment and let me know how you would do this better and faster, because that's always helpful after the fact that the job is done. So there's a gruesome close-up there, and we can see just how lovely this thing really is. Look at the history there, the archaeological layers of disappointment. This whole box side is all filler down here, very nicely sculpted. I think that's a bullet hole. Like I said, tailgate's off a different truck, so that'll have to be painted to match or something. I don't know. Just a sweetheart. And there's some areas on the back of the cab I didn't quite get. Up in here, I just got tired of scrubbing, so we'll do that when the box is off. Well, it was a pretty disappointing patina reveal on this old thing. I don't know. Definitely, well, you always hope for beautiful original paint under this garbage, but usually what you get is basically what we got here. So we'll figure something out, I guess. It's kind of a boring show, but next episode we got lots of hood repairs to do. Lots of hood splicing going on down here. Seat's all rotted down here, so we got a big hood splice action going on there. We got some fenders to fix. Not these ones, but some fenders nonetheless. And then lots of rust repair on the cabs coming up. And we also got a big engine and transmission swap for this. And I'll give you a couple hints on that. Starts with an L, and it's not going to make this thing better. And this thing's pretty wheezy, so you're going to want to stick around for how we can make this thing even worse than it already is. thanks again so much for watching. Thanks for all the patrons and sticking around and helping to support the channel. YouTube doesn't pay hardly anything, so patron folks are much appreciated when it comes to making these videos. Same with all the people doing the super chats and sending me donations through PayPal. Y'all are awesome, and as are the rest of you viewers and commenters and all that. So we'll see you soon, maybe. What are you doing? Why are you wrecking everything? It's not for you to play with. No. Stop wrecking everything.